Hello everyone and welcome back to another edition of Climate Club. I have another very special guest today. It's Emma Ride from Ritar UK. She's my colleague and she's the Enclosures product manager. She was previously the area sales manager for the northern region, so she knows her onions, or actually enclosures. So we're going to interview her here and have a chat about how outdoor cooling and enclosures come together as best friends. So let's check it out. Right, so Emma, thanks for joining me today. Just wanted to have a good chat with you about the cooling and enclosures combining together. So let's dive straight into the questions. So first question, we've launched our new Bluey Plus outdoor cooling unit. We've done a couple of videos on that and people are aware of it. But obviously that links to the enclosure. So from my point of view and for the customers, can they just bolt that onto a standard enclosure for outdoor use?
Generally, due to it being an outdoor environment, you really do need a specific outdoor enclosure, to be honest. There's a bit of a misconception in the marketplace that if you've got the higher the IP rating, the better an enclosure will be for an outdoor environment, and that's not necessarily the case. So it is down to more than just the IP rating. But generally, you do need to be looking at a specific outdoor enclosure if you're going to be using an outdoor cooling unit.
Okay, cool. So if a normal enclosure, like you've said, is not suitable, then what is the best choice then for outdoor use?
So there's a number of different options. Obviously at Rital we have different ranges, but specifically outdoor enclosures, like I said, it's not just about the IP rating, it's about the overall design of the cabinet. So a lot of people aren't aware, a lot of outdoor enclosures are actually only IP55. So IP55 will give you good protection against powerful jets of water. But then it comes down to things such as double skinned. So obviously double skinned helps with UV solar gain. So that will obviously help with the cooling. So that could determine whether it's a cooling unit or a fan and filter. It helps with UV solar gain. The material. So typically, again, you could be using aluminium, you could be using mild steel, you could be using stainless steel. So if it's a coastal environment, you might want to use a 316 stainless. But then a big thing as well is protecting the seals. So obviously on an enclosure, we have the door, we have the body of the enclosure. Typically water can sit on the top of the seals. This can be detrimental to the seal. So if it's in quite a harsh environment where potentially there's chemicals, then eventually it can degrade the seal, which then cause water to leak into the cabinet. So ideally an outdoor enclosure will also have some form of rain seal or an overhanging roof to protect the seals. Again, if you've got water sitting on the seal in the winter time, it can freeze. Water expands when it's frozen, so again, then it can push the door away from the actual enclosure body, and again, you can get leakage into the cabinet. It's not just about an IP rating, it's about more than just that. So you really do need to look at the enclosure design, the materials, and the IP ratings together, really, for an outdoor enclosure.
No, you're right, definitely. I've been on many sites where it's not considered, and like you say, they just think an enclosure is an enclosure and we can just use whatever, and then 6 months down the line it's being corroded because it's near the sea, or like you said, when we get harsh winter, start to see those sort of issues. So yeah, that's great.
Yeah, it's quite common.
So the next one then, obviously, if we're going to use TopTech, customers are going to want something specific for their project. So does it come in sort of like varying sizes and things?
They do. We have a number of set sizes on the website. Again, so you can get these in certain width, height, depth dimensions. Again, they're pretty much off the shelf. But we do find that these products, typically they're very project specific. Customers want certain things doing with the cabinet, internal configurations, obviously different types of cooling putting on there. So we can do them as specials as well. So it's an element of both, really. You can get standard sizes, but we can do them in specials for specific projects. That's no problem.
Nice one. Yeah, great. That's good. And for outdoor siting, obviously it's a bit different because it's out in the elements, etc. So is there any sort of special certifications or anything like that are needed?
It depends. So things such as rail can be quite specific. It's something to trackside, especially. We have to have special network rail approvals, which we have got on this range. So we have got a couple of sizes that's got what they call a PAD certification. So we have that. I haven't found anything specific anywhere else yet. That's not to say there isn't any, but generally it just comes down to the application in terms of you've got the right material, the right design, and that it's in the right environment. So it's about looking at what application you've got. Is it harsh environment? Is it coastal? And then it's just about picking the right product, really. But in terms of specifications, the main one we've got is the PADS approval.
So I guess it's important really for the customer not to just sort of go for it. They could, talk to the retail ASM and really, look at the project from a bird's eye view sort of thing.
I think it is. I think it's something that people don't do enough of. For instance, it's panel builders and integrators. That's their expertise. That's what they're good at. So come to us and let us be the experts in the enclosure and the cooling. That's our expertise. You and I often have these conversations where customers have picked something off the shelf and it's not necessarily the right product for the application. And in actual fact, we would rather give the right product upfront, first time. We know that it's going to work. We know that it's suitable for that application. Obviously, then further down the line, the customer will hopefully have less problems from that.
Yeah, absolutely. No, you're totally right. So finally then, just a last one then, I guess these can be used across the board in all different, business sectors, market sectors.
Yeah, the nice thing with the outdoor enclosure is to take into consideration environmental factors, in terms of where it's going to be working generally. It considers most issues. Big things as well as it's generally open to the public. So you've got an outdoor enclosure, it's in a public area sometimes. So things like security is really important. So these factors have been considered when we design the enclosure. So it means it's suitable then to put trackside for railways, highways, airports. The outer design of the cabinet is designed to be sat outside, potentially in a public place. The only thing then that we change sometimes customer specific or application specific is the internals. So things need to be mounted on a mounting plate or they need to be mounted on 19-inch angles, for instance. So the configuration differs inside depending on what it's used for and in what industry. But generally the outer cabinet, it suits most applications, yeah.
Yeah. All right, that's great, yeah. Right, final question then. This one's a bit off-piste. Can you recommend a good film for people to watch? What have you been watching lately in lockdown?
God don't. I've binged every Netflix box set and movies, and I'm currently on the lookout for the next movie.
Next big thing.
Retail Enclosure, yeah. So last week's one, for anybody that's not watched, not seen my LinkedIn post yet, it was The Girl in the Spider's Web. I do believe there's some in one of the Die Hard films as well, so I need to gen up on that one a little bit. But I'm trying to think. Watched a few things recently. Good Netflix one is The Stranger. If you're looking for a good box set, The Stranger on Netflix.
Right, people, check it out. That's got Emma's stamp of approval, so check it out. Right, well, thank you very much, Emma. Thanks for answering those questions and being with me today. So, yeah, appreciate that. And, thank you very much.
No worries. Cheers, Carl.
Cheers.
Bye.
So thanks again, Emma, for coming on the interview today. I hope you all enjoyed that and you got something out of it. If you want to know anything more about Emma or her products, then check her out on LinkedIn. Also, make sure you check out the other Climate Club videos on the Retail UK LinkedIn page. And remember, it's never the wrong time to assess your climate control. So thanks very much, and I'll see you next week.